Hey everyone, it's me Tiger. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are on Tanglewood Island with our very first build ever, very first speed build. Also, this is a speed build video if you didn't know already. We're gonna be doing things a little bit differently this time because I don't know, usually I've just done voiceovers on my speed builds, and yes, this is a voiceover, this isn't live, this is me several days after I've built this entrance. But normally I feel like I always say the same stuff because, you know, it's just me voicing over and kind of narrating what I'm doing. This time I wanted to switch it up and do something a little bit more chatty, kind of just chill with you guys as we build the entrance. This entrance turned out amazing. We did a double bridge, super aesthetic, super vibey, just huge entrance. And yeah, that's why it's like a 30-minute video, because I got carried away and I ended up making just this ginormous entrance and also a secret area that is like coming out of the entrance. So it's a lot. So sit down, buckle up, get ready for the ride. We're gonna be hanging out today while I speed build this. So as you can tell, I already got started. I started by making a little river because I wanted to have the didn't mean to shake the desk. I wanted to have like double bridges, diagonal bridges like this. So yeah, I started building a little river that's just flat when you walk in, and then it goes out diagonally so that the bridges could fit across it. I'm stumbling on my words. I'm just so excited. I feel like this turned out really good. And if you guys haven't been keeping up, I did start a new island. This is my new island. It's called Tanglewood. It's a cottagecore island because yes, we're going back to my roots. The queen of cottagecore is back, even though she's dressed not very cottagecore. I hope that you guys like my outfit, by the way. I got this really cute butterfly shirt the other day on Mercari. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's kind of like Depop. I have a little cinema roll hair clip, so yeah, I'm really proud of that. Anyways, as you can see, we started placing the bridges. We got the first bridge placed, and I did use the log bridges for this build. I didn't want to use any crazy like brick bridges or anything. I wanted it to be very rustic, very cottagecore. Also, I'm so sorry if you hear random noises in the background. My cats they got the zoomies. They're running around the living room and they're just tearing stuff up. So that's probably what you're hearing. I did end up connecting this river that I built to the actual river on the island. That's what I'm doing here because I didn't want it to just be like this floating water feature that looks like a river but like doesn't flow anywhere. It's just like a pond in the shape of a river. So I did connect it to the main river of my island. I don't know about you guys, but terraforming is hard. Riverscaping is so hard. It's like really difficult for me to make a river that looks realistic, but this time around I'm challenging myself. And I know I've said that in previous islands, I'm like, I'm gonna do more waterscaping this time, and then I never do, but this time I am. Okay, so we're gonna try to do some really cool waterscaping on this island. That's why I did like a huge double bridge entrance and was working so hard to try to connect it to the river. That's why, because I want my map to look cool. I want my map to have a bunch of little squiggly water lines all over it because those are just the coolest maps. I like to use the preset river that comes on your island sort of as a guide, and I kind of branch off of the God-given river that we already have. I'm not religious. This video is gonna be chaotic because I'm literally just sitting here watching my own speed build, just kind of chatting with you guys. Anyways, as I've been trying to say for the past 5 minutes, I'm using the river kind of as a blueprint, and we're gonna branch off of the river to make more like cool water features. And yeah, I connected this water feature to the river, and now we're placing the second bridge. So yeah, it looks really good. I am really excited for you guys to see the final product because just looking at it right now, it looks nothing like how it turned out. Also, you know, a perk of using the log bridges is that they're the cheapest bridges in the game, so it didn't cost me so much money to place them. On the right side, I did want to do something as well with a water feature, so I decided to make a little pond over on this side for some duckies. I wanted to make a little duck pond. Nothing too big, nothing too crazy, just kind of like a little pond where the river kind of just flows into this pond and it kind of comes to an end, because I didn't want to connect this side to the river, because then I would have to make like a huge long river. It would take a long time. So I just made a little pond, and then to make the pond look better because it looked kind of awkward, I decided to go ahead and just encase the entire thing with cliffs, because in my opinion, when you add a cliff like behind a pond, I just think it looks really good. So that's what we're doing here. Also, today's music is from Demon Gummies. If you guys haven't heard of Demon Gummies, what have you been doing? They are an amazing lo-fi beat artist. I love them. I use their music in pretty much every speed build ever on my channel. So if you haven't heard them, what are you doing? Go check them out. All of their links and stuff are in the description. And thank you, Demon Gummies, for letting me use your music for so long now, for like 2 years. Wow. With this being such a long video, I know some of you guys are like, I don't have time for this. It's okay. I put some timestamps and chapters on this video so you can fast forward through certain parts, like the terraforming part, and just watch the parts that you want to. So yeah, I've done that for you guys. You're welcome. And here we just started working on the decorations. I was planting some trees and running around, not really sure. I think I go up here and start planting some trees on the cliff. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna decorate this cliff now. I added a bunch of trees and I kept it really natural. Again, this is a cottagecore island, so I don't want a lot of like city-like items or very modern items. I wanted it to be very cozy, foresty. I don't know what you guys think of when you think of cottagecore, but I just think of like just like a little fairy forest. I'm gonna do like some enchanted elements with this island, but it's not gonna be fairycore by any means. It's gonna be full on cottagecore. And I did do a little enchanted element to this build at the very end so that you guys can kind of see the vibe of like magic that I want to add into this island. And yeah, I'm so proud of it. This is taking forever. We're only 8 minutes in, y'all. I wish that you guys could see it already. I don't know if you guys have seen, but there's a new update in the eShop where you can collect villager like profile pictures. I don't know if you guys have heard of this yet. Console Kato made a video on it. I haven't checked it out, but I do know that whatever month it is, you can only collect the villagers who have birthdays in that month at the time. So right now in March, it's Celia and Fauna's birthday. So they're on there and you can collect them for profile pictures. And I really need to check that out because if you didn't know, Fauna and Celia are my favorite villagers. So I really need to get on that. I haven't done it yet. Also, yes, here I am placing the pathway on the island. As you can see, I'm using this really realistic dirt pathway. I'm in love with it. I'll put all the design codes in the description. I have a Google Doc that has them all laid out very nice and pretty for you guys. But now we're finally starting to decorate with some furniture. So yes, I got a little bit of the path here. I used a bicycle, the little bunny item, and also, even though this isn't farmcore, I feel like cottagecore has pretty close ties with farmcore, so I did include some little veggies around. You can see I have a little carrot planted back there, and then there's just a carrot laying on the ground because, you know, that makes sense, you know, just carrots laying around. I also used the wheat field item and the barrel. I just thought that these would look really good. With cottagecore, I always like to use really wooden, worn down, like brown items. I think that always looks amazing with this theme. And here we started working on the little duck pond. So I did add some decoy ducks just around the pond. I didn't put one in the middle, even though I usually do. I'll add like a little square of land inside of the river or the pond in this case and put a little duck on it. But I didn't do this this time around because the pond was just too small. So I didn't want to waste all my space. And then I started to continue the pathway, leading from the very front of the entrance to this little bridge over here. And I also did the pathway in the middle back there, but I think that I stopped working on that for a second and started working on this area. So yeah, again, just placing around a bunch of natural items, some duckies, some shrubs and flowers. For this island, I don't want to use red flowers or like pink flowers, any colorful flowers. I just want to use orange, yellow, green, maybe some white flowers. Yeah, I just want it to be very neutral, very calming and serene on my island. Now, for the enchanted part that I did build at the end of this, you will see I used some blue and purple flowers, but only for that area because that's like a little magical area. But around the island, usually we're gonna be sticking with the orange, yellow, green, white theme. I think it looks really good so far. As you can see, if you look around, I'm already using those colors and it looks so cute. The day of my island is in June or July, I think. It's definitely in the summer though, because I wanted that pretty green grass on my island, if you guys were wondering what day of the year this is. Because if you're playing in real time in North America, at least, I think that the snow is just now starting to melt for y'all. I never play with real time because I don't like doing that. I like to pick like a specific 10 to 20 day span in the game, and then I just constantly time travel back and only live in like that 10-day span. If you guys haven't noticed already, if you've been on my channel, you probably noticed like on my islands, I'm just living on the same day every single time. It's like my favorite thing to do though, because I don't know, you have shrubs that you want to be in season, you want the specific grass, the trees, all of that good stuff. And look at this, you guys, I time traveled, so we do have the double bridges and they're in action. It looks so cool. Also, I don't know why I said bridges. But yeah, we have the double bridges. They look so cool. I'm really glad that I went with the log bridges. I think that it would have been more like grand if I used the brick bridge or any other bridge, honestly, but I wanted to go with a more like calming, magical, peaceful oasis of cottagecore vibes. So that's why I used the logs, and I think it looked really good. Also, oh my gosh, I forgot, I downloaded my signature hairstyle and I actually put that on my character in the middle of this build. So the braids are back, y'all, and I was so happy about that. And now we're working on this area. So this is where the bridges meet. They kind of meet in this weird little island type of thing. It's not fully an island. It does have some land on the side, but it kind of forms a cool little island. So I wanted to turn this into a little communal plaza type space. As you can see, I filled it up with the dirt pathway, and I thought it would be so cute to add the park fountain in the middle of it. I don't think I put it in the middle at first, but eventually it ends up in the middle. I was struggling with finding where to put everything in this little area, and I kept running back to the front of the entrance so I could see what it looked like from there. I did try to add the pergola item, but I ended up not using that in the end because it was just too big. There wasn't really room for it, and to be honest, I didn't really like the brown variation that I had. I wish it was darker, or maybe I wish it had flowers on it or something. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it, so don't get too attached to it because it won't make it to the end of this video. But I started to plant some trees around like the entire little circular pathway that we had going on to kind of enclose it and make it more of like a closed off circular area, because I wanted it to look like a little tiny plaza where everyone could hang out and get together. And it also, I left like the little pathway open at the end, because at the top over there, I don't know how to explain it, right where I'm standing right now, you can see the pathway's not done. That's because I left a little area for it to be able to connect to the real plaza later on whenever we do that, which will probably be the next speed build. Honestly, I'm probably gonna do a lot of speed builds on this island because the builds that I want to do them like just these huge extravagant builds, and it's really hard for me to sit down and record live builds whenever it takes me like 3 hours, because this build right here, guys, this took me 4 hours. That's right, I've condensed the full 4 hours into 25 minutes somehow. I don't know how, but I did. And yeah, you can still see I'm still struggling trying to fit in this pergola, but I finally got rid of it. I finally parted ways. I finally just accepted its fate. It wasn't gonna work in this build, but I did of course add some party lights because those are my favorite items ever. I love using those, and this is where I scooted the fountain back. I also added this little wild log bench in front of the fountain, and I love this combination of items right here. I think it looks adorable. I did scoot it back one more space because I was having trouble like walking through it like very like smoothly. I kept getting hung up on the bench, but this is what it looks like, and here it is like with the camera from the very front. I love the way it looks because you can see the little seals on the fountain. It's adorable. And now I started to get to work on this side of the entrance leading over to this bridge. I just placed the pathway. I don't know if I started working on like I added a little build here. I don't know if I started working on that yet because I don't remember, so I won't spoil it. I'll just wait till I get there. But I started to place some trees around and close off this area from the area that's on the left side. I don't want that to be accessible from the entrance, so I want the entrance to only take you to the double bridges and off to the right. So on this side, I covered it up completely with shrubs. I used some fencing, and yeah, I just covered that whole area up because I don't want you to be able to walk through that, because I don't know about you guys, but I like to create kind of a purposeful like flow on my island. So whenever you get there, like it kind of naturally flows where I want you to go first. And yes, okay, I did start working on this little build right away. So I wanted to build a little bread stand here at the entrance. Maybe someone is selling some homemade bread. I love bread. Bread is like not the greatest for you, but it's the greatest taste. So I love bread, and I wanted to use a lot of these new items that I haven't got to use yet, because if you guys didn't know, I already had like a lot of my island done when the 2.0 update came out, so I haven't really got to experiment with all of the new items yet, and there are so many. I think there's like 9,000 new items. So I got to use this little Moroccan tray table. I used the little barrels, the decorative bottles, and the little bread items. I think they're so cute. I did want to include the jam and this little crate, but it wasn't really fitting there, so I did get rid of that, and I ended up not including the jam, which I was really sad about because I like the jam item. I think it's really cute, but I did still include the crate. As you can see, I decided to remove the decorative bottles and just put them on top of the crate instead of on the ground. That's what I'm doing here. And then I also put back the log fencing. I didn't completely block off the beach right here, so maybe we can like have it lead to a cool beach area and then to the other area. I'm not really sure. Over here in the plaza, like I said, I wanted this, not the real plaza, but my little fake plaza. I wanted this to be like a communal area, so I made a little reading nook with the rocking chair and the tiny library and just some books on the ground. I did add a lost item over there as well. It was pretty quick. Sorry, you guys didn't get to see it very much. I just knocked that right out. But then I also made a little newspaper stand over here. I want to get a custom design that says newspapers for sale or something, because I put the little barrel and I also put a little coin on top of the barrel so it looked like people could buy the newspapers on the little stool. I thought that was so cute and so cottagecore. And yes, besties, we are terraforming some more. Yeah, we're 18 minutes in and we're still cliffscaping. Yeah, I just wanted to create a cliff behind this area just to add dimension and height to the build yet again. And I actually ended up making two cliffs that were very close together, which you'll see in a little bit, because I wanted to create a little narrow pathway going between the two cliffs that would lead to our secret magical enchanted area that you will see at the end. It's the last thing we do in the video, but it's worth it, so you better stay until the end. If you stayed this far, honestly, props to you. Comment down below like a tiger emoji if you stayed this far, and I'll know. I'll see you and I'll heart your comment. I'll try to heart your comment, okay? But anyways, we're still working on these cliffs. This is where I made the second like tiny cliff, and yeah, they don't fully connect, but there is one little space in between them, which you'll see in a little bit. It's taken me some time to terraform, so I'm talking ahead of my build. Yeah, we'll just give it a second. this is what it ended up looking like. As you can see, now you might be able to understand better. There's 2 cliffs with a little narrow pathway. So on top of the cliffs, I wanted to keep it very natural, still just having some trees and some flowers. And you'll notice that I started using glowing moss towards the left side of the cliffs, because that's gonna be the magical area. And with the magical area, I really wanted to use the mossy like vine items that we just got with the update. Well, I say we just got it, but that was like 4 or 5 months ago now, so that's really sad. But anyways, yeah, I wanted to create that and use the mossy items because I feel like they look really magical. They glow in the dark, but they're also like green and can work with the cottagecore theme, so I wanted to incorporate those. So now we started working on the secret build, which I am obsessed with. I can't wait for it to be done. I built a little like dirt pathway, circular shape thing for the little glowing moss pond. I don't know if that's what it's called. You guys will see it in a minute. It's an item. And I also used a bunch of the vines around here. As you can see, I was placing like the little water puddle item, custom design. I'm so excited. I need to calm down. I'm getting ahead of myself. But I used the little water puddle custom design and I put the vines on top of it, and I thought it just looked really cute. I loved that. And I decided to do a little pattern over here with the vines. So I had 3 vines. Yeah, you'll see. It's so hard to explain with words. You'll just see. But I was just kind of spamming some glowing moss around as I was doing this. And yes, you can see I started adding the vines now with a little pattern. So I used like the darker ones in the front, and then I used a lighter green in the back, and I thought it just looked really cool. And here's the glowing moss pond item. It's so magical. It's like green and gray, but then there's also like these magical blue colors coming through. I love it. I love it so much. So yeah, and then I also dropped some glowing moss on the ground as a decor piece, which surprisingly looked really cool. So if you haven't seen that yet, shout out to me for the idea. I'm just kidding, you guys. But yeah, no, we're just planning some stuff. I don't really know what to say. We're just planning some things. I also put a little mum cushion to add some yellows, and I did have like some random flowers around here, but as you can see, I started digging all of those up because I realized that I wanted it to be more magical. So this is where I started adding some blue and purple pansy flowers. I think those are pansies. Yeah, they are. And I think that this elevated the build so much and definitely separated it from the rest of the island, because it is a secret build. It's a magical build. I didn't want it to be completely like cohesive with the rest of the theme. I wanted it to kind of stand out a little bit and be its own little special place. So that's why I decided to use some blue and purple, because I really think that it kind of set it apart, and I loved it. Over here, I did dig up some of the flowers because I wanted to use the giant vine items originally in this build, but as you can see, I didn't really have much room for them, so I couldn't get away with not using any of them though. So I made room for at least one, and there it is. It's huge, but it looks super cool. And I accidentally picked up the glowing moss pond while I was trying to make room, which ended up working out because I placed it down and it went into this really cool like section that I hadn't placed it in before, and it looked a lot better. So I was like, thank you, game, for showing me where to put the pond, because it looks a lot better here. And this is one of my favorite parts of the build. I added the little vine hanging chair. It's so cute. It's so magical, and I love the way it looks. So you can come back here into the secret area and hang out and the hanging vine chair and like read a book or have some cookies, because guess what? I added this really cute design, and I haven't done it yet, but here we go. I added the roost sable cookie. It's so cute. It's so cute. It's a little Brewster cookie. It's my favorite food item right now. I'm obsessed with it. And then I also added a little vine lamp, and we are done. Wow. Okay, so we're done. Here's the final walkthrough. This is what my entrance turned out like. I am obsessed with her. This is what it looks like, y'all. I love the double bridges. It's something I've never done before. Like I said, I struggle with waterscaping. I don't do a lot of diagonal bridges. It's just not me. So this is definitely out of my comfort zone, but I am obsessed with the product. Obviously, this area is empty. That's gonna lead to something later. I was thinking about maybe building like a train station, but on this side, we do have our little bread area where you can come buy some fresh bread and then we cross over into this community plaza area. We got our fountain, the little newspaper stand, and this will lead out into the real plaza in the game. And there's also our little fountain that we can sit on. Yes, so cute. And our reading nook with the rocking chair and some book items, the tiny library. I think my favorite part is this part right here with the party lights. I think it just looks so aesthetically pleasing. I'm honestly so proud of this build, y'all. I think this might be the best entrance I've ever built in Animal Crossing, and I've built a lot of entrances. If you guys have been here for like the 2 years that I've been on YouTube, you've seen all the entrances. But now we can walk through our secret path and end up at the enchanted secret pond area, and it's so gorgeous, y'all. I love this so much. Look at all the colors, all the blues, and yes, I did want to show you guys what it looked like at nighttime while all of it's glowing. So I did time travel to the darkness, and you guys can see it looks so cool. A lot of times you guys are like, can I see this build at night, please? And I'm always like, yeah, but then I never show you guys, and I'm sorry. But this time I remembered, so you guys can see the build in the dark. It looks amazing. I just love how all the items are glowing. And yeah, that is my entrance for Tanglewood, my new cottagecore island. I hope that you guys enjoyed this chatty speed build. If you did, be sure to leave a like and also subscribe for more cozy Animal Crossing content. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.